Very difficult. What a lot of agencies are doing is offering massive signing bonuses.
A shortage in the local police staff. SBU-TV looked into what this means for Cattaraugus County. An additional area code for Western New York. We found out who it will impact. Local leaders are calling for changes since the releasing of Edward Kint on parole.
Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski with your SBU-TV weather forecast.
Plus, a mostly sunny weekend ahead. Aaron Menkowski brings you the weekend weather. SBU-TV starts right now. Good morning and welcome to SBU-TV. I'm Janice Washington.
And I'm Nick Olean, and happy Kid Clash weekend to all of you who celebrate as well. But this morning on SBU-TV, we're going to get started with the provost search at St. Bonaventure University. The university named Dr. David Hilme its new provost and vice president for academic affairs. University officials named Hilme interim provost back in May this year. Hilme, a member of the St. Bonaventure faculty since 2008, was promoted to Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences in 2016. He is responsible for the quality and practices with undergraduate, graduate, and professional study at St. Bonaventure.
A recent study done by the National Emergency Number Association shows that 911 centers are understaffed, which leads to slower response times. I look to see how this shortage impacts Olean. Across America, 911 centers are suffering an average 25% vacancy rate, according to the NENA survey. Our main 911 center is located in Little Valley, New York. Captain Mike Marsfelder of the Olean Police Department explained to me how 911 calls in our area are handled.
How it generally works is for emergency calls, someone will dial 911, it goes into the county. They can either direct dispatch us over the radio, or they can transfer that down to our phone system here in our dispatch, and our dispatcher will put it out to us. So just to put things into perspective, last month in August, we had 2,735 calls that all of our officers had responded to.
The dispatch center within the Olean Police Department has 5 people, but is struggling to find people to hire, according to dispatcher Jennifer Foz.
I wish to have at least 4. But in order for that to happen, we have to have a civil service exam, and then hopefully people would want to come work here.
The dispatcher shortage mirrors the problems of the police officer shortage. Here in Olean, there are currently 33 officers employed. Captain Marsfield tells me that's 2 officers short of what there should be. He attributes this to the Bail Reform Act.
Basically, it's catch and release. We're arresting these people that are committing these offenses, and they're out the door before the paperwork's done. And that's somewhat disheartening.
As for a solution to the shortages,
it's very difficult. What a lot of agencies are doing is offering massive signing bonuses to get someone to come from another agency to work for them, and they have to work X amount of years. Well, that's kind of expensive.
For SBU-TV, I'm Janice Washington. In order to be a police officer, you have to take the civil service exam. You can find information on the exam on the New York State website.
The Centers for Disease Control signed off on a new recommendation for updated COVID vaccines for all Americans 6 months old and older. 2 updated mRNA vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna will be available in pharmacies this week. The committee's endorsement means the vaccines will be covered by public and private insurance plans. The new vaccines have been updated to fend off the currently circulating viruses that cause COVID. They arrive amid a late summer uptick in COVID hospitalizations and deaths. And the sun's starting to peek out a little bit today. This weekend also looking very sunny. Good weekend for Bonnie students to get out. WKBW Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski has your weekend weather.
Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski with your SBU-TV weather forecast for your Friday. Sunny skies, temperatures near 70 degrees. Blue skies on Saturday, again near 70. Some more cloud cover for your Sunday.
New York State introduced a new area code on Monday for residents in Western New York, in addition to the 716 and 585 area codes. The new area code is 624. The area code will be used in addition to the others. Residents who request a new mobile number or move into the Western New York area will be given a 624 area code number. Existing customers with the 716 or 585 area codes will not be impacted. The 624 area code is expected to provide new telephone numbers for nearly 30 years.
Now, St. Bonaventure is not a campus that is theft-free. SBU-TV's Patrick Vogel found out how theft impacts St. Bonaventure's campus.
St. Bonaventure offers a unique and refreshing experience in the library, something called the Pod.
And the POD stands for Provisions on Demand. And so people can come in, buy what they need whenever they need it. At the time, we also had a coffee maker. And it seems that maybe some people weren't quite as aware that everything needed to be paid for. We always had a sign back there that said that it was monitored by security cameras.
Then the theft started to happen. At first, it was only a small amount of food that was being taken.
It got a little bit larger to the point where a few times the people at Aramark were like, these inventory records are not matching up with what we see was sold by the register records.
It was a big enough deal to the point where
then they got security involved to review the camera footage and see just what was going on.
Campus thefts happen from time to time. Here's how you can keep yourself from being a victim.
lock up your bikes using bike locks. Lock up your dorm rooms when not in your room and at night. Use a safe to keep your valuables secured. Never leave valuables unattended. From SBU-TV, I'm Patrick Vogel.
Since security has put more signs up, no other incidents have been reported.
Coming up, our Anthony DeSilva looks into budgeting as a college student.
And now we take a look at downtown Olean this morning. North Union Street looking pretty calm so far. The fog's starting to clear up as well. We'll be right back on SBU-TV.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Baby, you see, I cannot set you free. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Many students may struggle to budget their money. I know I do. This week, our Anthony DeSilva spoke with a finance professor and a student about some tips they would give to college students to help them manage their money.
Many students may struggle to manage their money or buy things they don't need.
I mean, I feel like we all have our things where we just spend too much on.
Making a budget could make managing your money a whole lot easier. But where do you start when making a budget?
You've got to create a goal that you're trying to attain whenever you make a budget.
Once you have your goal, you can start deciding how much money you will need to save. For college students, these goals will probably be something like renting an apartment, buying a car, or starting to pay off some student loans.
And then you can start making some decisions from that point in terms of what sort of spending is sort of quote-unquote necessary for you to hit that goal.
When making a budget, there are two key things to remember.
ensure that you are able to, A, afford things that we might call necessities first. So if you need to put gas in the car, make sure you've got enough money to put gas in the car.
And the second key thing to remember?
Make sure you're not spending more than you're able to pay off.
Making a budget doesn't mean you can't have fun or splurge on something here and there. It's more about saving money and having the funds to pay the things that need to be paid.
So just keep track of your expenses somehow. Keep track of your income somehow. It doesn't have to be in a perfect little Excel document.
And also, just make sure to have some extra money saved up just in case the unexpected happens.
So I would say don't underestimate the world's ability to surprise you, especially from a money standpoint.
From SBU-TV, I'm Anthony Da Silva.
In a final tip, revisit your budget at least weekly to ensure all your transactions are accurate.
St. Bonaventure University will complete renovations to Plasman Hall by September 2024, according to Jared Smith, Director of Facilities at St. Bonaventure. SBU is currently renovating the second and third floors and hoped to open those floors by this winter or spring. Plasman Hall had some minor renovations in 2016 and 2018. The last major project in Plasman was the addition of the west side in 1989. Jared Smith also said that renovated Plasman Hall will have air conditioning throughout the building.
For the first time in 45 years, the Salamanca School District logo is looking a little different. Carson Waterman designed the original logo and had a say in what the new logo would look like. The Seneca Nation granted the Salamanca City Central School District permission to continue using the logo and Warrior nickname in May. This comes after the New York State Board of Regents announced in 2022 that public schools with indigenous nicknames, logos, or mascots must change them. The Board of Education adopted the updated design as the district's official logo on Tuesday. Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announced Tuesday that he supports launching a formal impeachment inquiry into President Biden. McCarthy signaled throughout the summer recess he was nearing moving forward with such an investigation related to Hunter Biden's business dealings. Currently, there's no direct evidence Biden financially benefited from those foreign business dealings. Republicans hope a formal inquiry will give them more investigative tools to dig for wrongdoing on the part of the president.
Biden on Tuesday
will be productive.
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone.
Last week, I laid out a 6-point plan.
President Joe Biden on Tuesday
Meeting will be productive.
Thank you. As I said outside, I will not, the will of the American.
He is also laying the groundwork to argue to Republican House members that they need to keep the government funded so they can pursue all investigative threads.
Johnny's tasty microgreens have arrived at the Hickey Dining Hall at St. Bonaventure University. The university and Babylon Microfarms partnered up to promote a sustainable and healthy diet for college students. Now, you can get as many kinds of lettuce as you could dream of, arugula, and even marigold you can add to your meal. Including these in your diet can improve cellular health. The microfarm saves up to 90% of water, and the plant growth can be tracked by an app. The Hickey Dining Hall will feature full heads of lettuce by mid-October.
Last semester, we told you about the release of convicted killer Edward Kint on parole. Local leaders are now calling for changes that would give victims a stronger role in the parole hearing process. Senator George Borrello came to Olean this week with Caitlin Brown, the daughter of the woman Kint raped and murdered in 1999, to voice their concerns. New legislation proposed would allow a victim or a victim representative to appeal a decision from the parole board. Data from the parole board's annual report confirms that parole approvals have risen significantly since 2016.
Coming up, no more drink bars in McDonald's. We'll tell you why McDonald's is adapting to fewer people eating in its dining rooms.
And now, taking a live look at downtown Olean this morning. Weather seems to be A-OK outside. We'll be right back after this.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to SBU-TV. After 2 weeks on the run, escaped killer Danilo Cavalcante, 34, is back behind bars. Laura Aguirre has more from state police on how this high-profile manhunt ended.
Our suspect was captured.
Pennsylvania's governor giving the news so many were anxiously awaiting.
There were no injuries to law enforcement or to the public. He was apprehended this morning with no shots fired.
Police say they started to close the net overnight after a residential burglar alarm drew more officers into an area in northern Chester County. An air search unit picked up a heat signal, but stormy weather and lightning forced units on the ground to hunker down and wait to move in.
Tactical teams converged on the area where the heat source was. They were able to move in very quietly. They had the element of surprise. Cavalcante did not realize he was surrounded until that had occurred.
Danilo Cavalcante did not initially give up peacefully.
He began to crawl through thick underbrush, taking his rifle with him as he went.
Police say they released a canine to stop Cavalcante's escape.
The dog subdued him, and team members from both of those teams immediately moved in. He continued to resist, but was forcibly taken into custody.
State police say Cavalcante did suffer a minor bite wound and was seen by medical experts at the scene.
He was transported to our Avondale station for further processing and interview, and he will ultimately be transferred to a state correctional institute where he will be housed and begin to serve his life sentence.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Cavalcante will be transported to a state correctional institution. According to the Pennsylvania Attorney General, Cavalcante will be arraigned on charges related to his escape. Now to some troubling news at Michigan State University. The school suspended its head football coach, Mel Tucker, on Sunday. A report published in USA Today last Saturday said Tucker allegedly had non-consensual phone sex with a woman who counseled the football team about relationship violence. Tucker is on unpaid leave until the end of the university's investigation.
McDonald's has announced plans to ditch self-serve soda machines. The fast food chain says fewer people are eating in its dining room since the pandemic, reducing the need for self-serve drink machines. McDonald's digital sales, which include orders on its app or through partners like Uber Eats, now make up 40% of sales. According to McDonald's, the machines will be eliminated from its U.S. restaurants by the end of 2032. Future McDonald's will have smaller dining rooms or none at all.
Competitive eating has gained a lot of steam over the past few years, and our own Louis Genovese spoke with a Bonaventure student who got to put his love of chicken wings to good use.
At the National Chicken Wing Festival in Orchard Park, St. Bonaventure student Jacob Palmer partook in the collegiate chicken wing eating contest, placing second out of 6 eaters.
I had 21 wings in 5 minutes.
Despite eating more wings than he's used to, Palmer never lost focus on the challenge, allowing him to persist.
Very little going through my head. I was kind of just zoning out, focusing on eating the wings. I mean, wings were delicious, so I couldn't complain there.
The average human can eat up to 1 liter of food without feeling nauseous. Assistant clinical studies professor Nicole Ackley said competitive eaters need to have a specific threshold in order to withstand the excess portion sizes.
Depending on the person, everyone has, I would say a relatively different threshold. As far as developing that nauseous feeling, these people potentially are eating past that.
Palmer said he's proud to finish second and to return to his normal eating pace of hot wings.
I felt pretty good, think as the day went on, my stomach started to feel it a little bit more and more, but I felt really good in the moment.
His favorite place to eat those wings?
It's definitely Randy's. I mean, that's why we're here now. I love Randy's.
For SBU-TV, I'm Louis Genovese.
Palmer said he is interested in trying out more food challenges and plans to prep himself, especially if there is a prize involved.
On Tuesday night, MTV held their annual Music Video Awards. Taylor Swift won 3 of the biggest awards: Video of the Year, Artist of the Year, and Song of the Year. I know, great news for the Swifties. Ice Spice won the award for Best New Artist. Other artists who won awards on Tuesday night are Shakira, Peso Pluma, Stray Kids, Rema, and Anita.
Now, Halloween is still 7 weeks away. I don't know if you've gotten your pumpkin spice yet, Janice. A lot of businesses are already cashing in on spooky season enthusiasm, with retailers releasing Halloween merchandise as early as July. Starbucks is jumping on the Boo bandwagon as well. The coffee giant is out with this year's Halloween drinkware lineup. It includes new tumblers, cold cups, mugs, and more. The drinkware hits shelves this month at participating U.S. locations for a limited time while supplies last.
Crazy that Halloween stuff is popping up already, and it's not even the end of September, Nick.
Too early. Yeah.
Coming up in sports, men's rugby players heading to the big leagues, a recap of Bonnie's soccer, and a response from Bills owner Terry Pagula regarding racial comments.
And now we're going to take one last live look before we go to break at downtown Olean, North Union Street. That fog looks pretty much cleared up now. We'll be right back on SBU-TV.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Look at that, it's so sad.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to SBU-TV Sports. I'm Louis Genovese. Today, 3 St. Bonaventure men's rugby alumni make it to the big leagues. Ricky Rose, Juan Penn, and Joseph Hawthorne were recently selected in the Major League Rugby draft. Rose was taken 1st overall by the Miami Sharks, Penn was 16th overall by the Chicago Hounds, and Hawthorne was further down the line, but he was still selected 38th overall by the San Diego Legion. For rugby lovers watching, this opens up the possibility for the 3 to have a shot at representing Team USA in the 2027 Rugby World Cup in Australia. The St. Bonaventure men's soccer team took to the pitch Wednesday night, hosting Little 3 rival Niagara. Early in the contest, the Bonnies added pressure, striking in the 8th minute with this Kenzo Brito goal. However, Niagara mustered a response from forward Felix Kolger, tying the match at 1. But in the second half, Bonaventure found its groove again with goals from Brito and Yavit Andres.
Following the offensive burst, the Bonnies played a strong defensive game, holding on to win 3-1. The Bonnies prepare for road action this Saturday at 3 p.m. against Fordham. The game will be streamed on ESPN+. And on to the women's team, the Bonnies faced off against rival and skilled conference foe Dayton. In the first half, Bonnies played a strong defensive game with several high intensive battles. Goalkeeper Kiara Gonter once again stood tall, providing a strong anchor for the team. In the second half, Gonter continued to dominate between the posts, and with defensive help, the Bonnies held off the Flyers and tied at 0-0. Bonaventure now prepares for more A-10 action as they travel to Davidson on Sunday for a 1 p.m. kickoff. The Buffalo Bills hit the road week 1, facing off against division rival the New York Jets. Jets all-star quarterback Aaron Rodgers went down with a season-ending Achilles injury within the first minutes of the game. But with some stellar play from backs Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall, poor defensive decision-making from Josh Allen, and a miracle return by Jets undrafted rookie Xavier Gibson, the Jets went on to win 22-16 in overtime. The Bills head back to Orchard Park for the home opener against the Las Vegas Raiders, and the game kickoff starts at 1 p.m. and it will air on CBS. Some front office issues brewing this week. Bills and Sabres owner Terry Pegula was named in a lawsuit followed by former NFL reporter Jim Trotter Tuesday afternoon. Trotter's lawsuit said Pegula made a racist comment during an interview with another reporter regarding the NFL's social justice initiatives and Black Lives Matter in 2020. Pegula released a public statement Tuesday denying the allegations, saying, quote, "I am horrified that anyone would connect me to an allegation of this kind." Former NFL wide receiver Mike Williams died Tuesday morning in a Tampa, Florida hospital following complications from a construction accident back in August, according to his agent. The 36-year-old was reportedly on life support following conflicting reports on whether he died or not, and had been taken off September 7th, but was surviving and responsive at the time. Williams, a Buffalo native, spent 4 years at the University of Syracuse before playing 5 years in the NFL. His last season with the Bills in 2014. But plenty of sports action coming up this weekend. Bonnies soccer hits the field as both men's and women's squads continue A-10 play. Men's rugby hosts Kutztown on Saturday, while the women travel off to Clarkson. And the men's tennis competes in the Navy Invitational in their first match of the year. And if you can't catch up with all the action, do not worry, we got you covered. Be sure to follow us on X and Instagram. That's all for me in sports. Back to you, Nick and Janice.
Thank you very much, Louie. Now go give us a follow on our social media handles at SBU-TV Sports on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X. We give you consistent reports on your local news, weather, and more. Now we're going to take one last look at your weekend weather. It looks like pretty mild out there. So if you're into that type of thing, it'll be pretty good for you. Our WKBW Chief Meteorologist, Aaron Menkowski, has that for you now.
Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski with your SBU-TV weather forecast for your Friday. Sunny skies, temperatures near 70 degrees. Blue skies on Saturday, again near 70. Some more cloud cover for your Sunday.
Alrighty, thanks again, Aaron. As we mentioned earlier, this weekend is K-Clash, and I personally don't celebrate it, but what about you, Nick?
I will be celebrating this weekend. I'll be observing the holiday. So everybody have a safe and happy K-Clash weekend. Thank you for watching SBU TV.